Hi everyone, today's video is the first of a very short series that I'll be making on wah pedals and how to use them. And the very first video will be about what a wah pedal is, how it works, and I will leave a few exercises to really get to know the wah and you know, get the mechanics of it under your fingers or under your feet. Usually a wah pedal is something that if you're not very experienced with the guitar, it can be a little bit counterproductive because you just keep hearing this wah 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 thing on everything you do, and it doesn't really do much for the music. When you know how to play a bit better, and when you become an expert on the guitar, or you know, kind of an expert, you'll be able to actually use the wah just as a very simple, it's like a pick. You know, it's subconscious and you just know it's there, and it will create different sounds, very much like the way you use the pick will. You don't think all the time, well, I'm going to go down with the pick and tilt it a bit and then, you know, pinch it with the thumb. You just do it naturally, and the wah is pretty much the same thing. So to get there, if you don't know how to do it, I'll try to help you out with a few very brief and simple exercises. Okay, so the very first thing we should look at is how a wah works. And this is a pedal that I had used for a long time, and then now I switched to another one, which I'll show to you in a moment. But the idea with the wah pedal is very simple. You have this in this position usually. If it's not activated, the sound just goes through it, so you won't hear it. And then depending on the model, some models have a button here, like the next one I'll show you, which you have to press, and usually just press a bit harder with your foot, and that will engage the switch and the wah will work. This one, for example, is optical, so with this one you just step on it, and as soon as you move it just a tiny bit, the pedal will engage and it will start going wah wah. Okay, so it's very simple stuff, and it doesn't really matter which one you have. I used to like this, now I like the switch better, for a reason that I'll show you in a second. So now you have your wah activated, and all you do is you go up with the wah, and that will bring the high frequencies to the front, and then when you go down with the wah, that will be emphasizing the low frequencies. So what a wah is just a filter, and imagine an EQ, and all you do is just change the frequency of that EQ through time. So you go like wah, and the wah is actually because at the low frequencies it will sound like a U, and then as you go up it will sound like an A. So it will go like this, but it's really just a filter. And so different wah pedals will give you different, 2 or 3 parameters are different. The first one is how low we start with the U, you know, and then how high we go with the ah, and that's some pedals will let you choose that, and some pedals are fixed. This is fixed, and that's probably the main thing you want to look for when you get a wah. And then the other thing is very important, is once you engage it, then and you move it, then you know, when you go say from, I'm just giving you an example, from 0 to 10. Okay, so you know we're going from 0 to 10. That's the range of your wah. But then if I'm on 2, I won't be only emphasizing 2. I'll be emphasizing mainly 2, but also a little bit of the other frequencies. And so that's a cue, and the cue is how wide the filter is, so how wide the range of frequencies that you affect. And the third thing is, let's see, we have frequency, we have the cue, and then we have actually the how wide the range of movement of the wah. So basically how fast you go from one frequency to the next. Okay, so when you put them all together, then you have different brands and different sounds and different characters for the wahs. So usually it's a good idea to try a lot of them. One of the wahs I'm using is my main wah is a Dunlop 535Q, and that lets you actually select different settings for Q and range of filters and all that. So that's a really great wah. So now we know what it does. Let's hear how it sounds. My advice is to start with a clean sound. That's the easiest way to hear the wah. So now I have a pretty intermediate setting on my wah pedal, and just one second. Let's see if we can get 2 videos going at the same time. Okay, so now I'm having all the low frequencies emphasized, and then as I move the wah up, I'm getting the high frequencies emphasized. This, of course, is directly related to what kind of sound I'm having at the front, at the guitar. So if I now move to a more distorted sound, So you can make some pretty extreme sounds just by using, for example, the wrong distortion for the effect, and it will sound, for some people, really good. Now, when you go to extreme distortions, the wah still works, although it's much more defined when you go from the oo to the ah. You hear a lot of the wah of the pedal, and that's because all the notes being so compressed, you have the notes last so long that they're affected more evenly by the filter, if that makes any sense. So let me give a few exercises just to start out and to get the mechanics of the wah under your foot. The first exercise is to just take the wah and put it all the way down so we can hear a very low sound, and then with the metronome we just go one note, one wah. Okay, so we play the chord or a single note like an A, and slowly we go up and down the wah, and then we familiarize ourselves with what the wah sounds like at different positions. Once we have that ready, then what we do is also use the wah rhythmically. So every note we play, we go up, and then the next note we play, we go down all the way, and it goes like this. So each note we play, we have an up wah and a down wah. And then what we do is multiply that by 2, and then we have a whole cycle within one hit. So we go like wah, wah, wah. And it goes like this. We start with the wah, go all the way down, and we go up and down all within a beat. So if we're going with a metronome like this, then we'll be playing this. Now if we want to do something a bit more extreme, what we can do is try to get more than one subdivision in a note. So if we're playing the same rhythm, but now we use, instead of quarter notes, we can use maybe 8 notes. Okay, so let's see what it sounds like. Maybe a quarter and an 8. So now I'm playing a quarter note and then 2 8 notes and a quarter note and 2 8 notes. And then just do this, but you do it always in time. So if you're playing a note, you can do triplets. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But still you do the whole pattern. Okay, then next week we'll look at different ways to play that are not as rhythmical, but are a lot more musical. And so we'll involve using the wah just up to a certain point, and deciding how far we want to go when we go up and how far when we go down. But what I've left you with now this week is actually for you to really get used to the sound of the wah and to the whole range of it. And then we'll work with smaller fragments. Okay, so I'll wait for you next week, maybe within a couple of weeks. I don't know exactly when I'll be able to make the next video, but I will, and I will see you then. Bye bye.